Hello y'all, welcome back to another vlog. I have been MIA for a little bit, but I have a somewhat good reason. We've had a lot going on. So in order to remedy that, I just need to update you on what's going on, and then we can just resume vlogging as normal. That's really the only way to move forward, isn't it? It is. A lot has happened. I am nervously talking to the camera this morning because, well, you know, sometimes I don't take my own advice. So if you're on my newsletter, if you're subscribed to my newsletter, then you know that I have said before in those emails like, moms, take care of yourselves, you know, don't forget about you, make sure you make your doctor's appointments and stuff like that, you know, you do all the stuff for your kids, don't forget about you. Well, you see, back in July on my birthday, I cracked my tooth on a Skittle. And I thought, all right, well, there's no pain associated with this, so I'll just wait. And a couple of you were like, hey, by the way, in case you're thinking there's no pain, I'll just wait, don't do that because it will become painful and then you will be like frantic. And that's basically exactly what happened. About 3 weeks ago, actually right before Halloween, a few days before Halloween, I was baking something and took a little bite of it and was like, oh my. I got into the dentist. They couldn't get me in for a few days. I actually saw them on Halloween day and they informed me that I was going to need a root canal. However, they don't do them in office. They send you to a specialist just down the road. So I called the specialist and they said, oh, wait, he's on vacation for a little bit and he's very, very busy, man. And I'm like, I'm sure he is. And they said we could see you on like November 17th or something like that. Whatever the date of today is the day that he could see me. So I've been waiting weeks and I've just been taking some antibiotics and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Keeping me up at night, waking me up at night. Like it's just been terrible. So if any of you guys can relate to tooth pain problems, it's just... Tooth pain is some of the worst pain, honestly. I don't know why, probably because it's so close to your brain. I mean, who knows? It's just painful and not fun. And I'm really anxious because I've never had anything like this done. I've never even had a cavity filled, so I do not know what to expect. I'm a little bit anxious. I'm a little bit like, ooh. This morning I'm kind of driving my family crazy, which is why I came out here to talk to you guys. Because if I can't drive them nuts, I'll just drive you nuts. So welcome. You are the sacrificial lamb, as it were. Other updates. My plan was to vlog earlier because Grand Nana was here. I know y'all haven't seen her in a video in forever, but again, it's just, you know, the day-to-day things are happening and it's a lot of the same. So there's so many days I'm like, I'm not gonna vlog this, nobody cares. Like this is the same, I'm not gonna say that on YouTube. Same-ish, different day, you know what I mean? So part of me is just like, nobody wants to watch that for the 500th time. And maybe that's just part of what comes with having been on YouTube for so many years and having vlogged for so many years and stuff that it feels to me it's the, you know, what I call like the holy mundane, but it's also not something that people necessarily care to see on repeat over and over and over again. And well, you know, we don't live our lives for YouTube, therefore every day can't be exciting. Every day, in fact, is not typically exciting in terms of like what people expect to see on YouTube. So I don't know, I just haven't vlogged as much as I wanted to, but we took the kids to Florida. That was, we had fun for the short time that we were there. It's kind of one of those things where you put in all of this planning. I mean, I put in so much planning. It was kind of a combo present for the boys. All the kids had been looking forward to it. You know, we were kind of going to knock out everything that everybody wanted to do. We had, you know, like I said, scheduled and organized everything. Oh, here comes my breakfast.
Oh, you're filming. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You bring the cream of wheat. You can't stay. I'll allow it. Thank you. You didn't even say anything. My cream of wheat. Hello, Charlotte. You cannot have cream of wheat. So anyways, everyone was really looking forward to it. I noticed in the forecast, this should just tell you guys how much I don't pay attention to like what's going on. It's just okay, hi, your breath is awful. It honestly smells like, I don't know, like a dead fish, like a fish's butthole. I don't know. Go lay down. That smells terrible. But I just saw that there was some rain predicted in the forecast while we were in Florida. again, I didn't think too much of it because, well, it rains in Florida nearly every single day. I lived there for many years. Afternoon thunderstorms are no big thing. So that's kind of what I thought was going on. And then as we approached the trip, my mom was like, there's like a tropical storm. And again, I was like, oh, it'll blow over. It'll be fine. I just honestly couldn't think about it because so much had gone into this as far as we flew Donna out for this. My mom came with us. We rented this big house. So much went into it that I couldn't imagine it all kind of falling apart, especially just days before. So we just kind of pushed through and hoped for the best, hoped that maybe it would blow another direction or the storm would just blow apart completely and miss us. That did not happen. So we left on Sunday, and by Tuesday we were getting notifications from the parks and stuff letting us know that they probably weren't even going to open anymore, especially on the days that we had booked, because you got to book all that stuff ahead of time. So we ended up having to make a last minute decision Wednesday morning to either just stay at the house and ride out the tropical storm Hurricane Nicole, to ride that out at the house in Florida with the potential of losing power and not having anything, there. And then not to mention some of the bands from the storm were going to be coming up towards the farm. And, my sister was here taking care of our place, but I didn't want her to feel like she had to do like storm prep for our animals. So we ended up making a last minute decision to just go ahead and go home, but we had to leave like then because the storm was already rolling in. In fact, it basically chased us out of town. We had rented a transit, which at some point, big families, we will have a discussion about transit versus NV because I'm a full convert. But we had rented a transit and medium roof, and those are very tall, and in the winds, it was just pulling us all over the road. It was raining. It was so windy. And so it was just, we were in bad weather getting out of there. It just felt like a lot, and it all happened in a matter of just a couple of days. And so the kids were so bummed, but they handled it so well. And, we always try to let them feel their feelings, right? It's all right to be sad. It's all right to be disappointed, but trying to remind them to keep perspective and gratitude, right? We have the ability to get away from this hurricane. Some people don't. We have the ability to go home and get away from this and not have to just hope our home isn't going to be destroyed. There's a lot to be grateful for in those situations. Even when you could still be disappointed though. It's okay. I always want my kids to know that you can feel both of those things at the same time. You can be sad for the loss of this thing that you've been looking forward to and, this first family vacation that we've really had in nearly 2 years. At the same time, have some perspective and gratitude for the situation and that it could have been a lot worse and that we were all safe and okay and we were going to get home safe and okay. And that means a lot too. So anyways, I'm getting emotional because I feel sad for my kids. As a mom, you feel what they feel. You don't want to watch me eat cream of wheat, but also cream of wheat tastes like rubber if you don't eat it before it gets cold. I guess I could just stop recording and come back, but that's kind of the story on that. We're home. We're going to try to rebook the trip. So we are going to hopefully be able to rebook the trip for after Christmas and see if we can get back down there. It's going to end up being ridiculously expensive. Let's not even have that conversation now because I go down a rabbit hole about how I think Walt Disney's probably rolling over in his grave at the prices of Disney. I understand that it has to feel somewhat exclusive, right? It has to feel like something that you have to save for to make it really special. If it was a $5 carnival, it would be so overcrowded every single day that, although I think it would lose its luster and then maybe that wouldn't happen. I don't know. I get it. That, at least for me as a kid, that was your family saves, you go to Disney once as a kid. And I know there's people who go to Disney all the time now. That's fine. But my point is that based on what we spent, I can't, and we didn't even stay at Disney resorts or anything like that. For most people, it has to feel out of reach. I know that for us, the first 10 years of our marriage, when we had, 4 or 5 small kids, now you have to remember that, yes, we still have small kids, but I also have almost 16-year-old. So, we're nearly 40 years old. So we're at a different spot in our life. We're not in our early mid-20s just starting our family. We're nearly 20 years into our marriage and things like that. But at those times, and even now, I felt dang, this is expensive. Back then, it would have been impossible. That's my point, is that I just don't know how attainable these Disney vacations are for people. It feels insanely expensive, especially if you try to stay at the resort, you try to do your meals there and stuff. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I felt like it was a lot. It's a small world. It's an expensive world is what it is. And then, of course, since we've been home, Chloe got some kind of deep scratch in her eye. We have no idea. Her eye's like all swollen shut. I take her to the vet. She's got to get these like drops and solution and stuff put in her eye. We have to take her back Monday. If it's not healed, then they have to sew her eye closed so that it can heal. Why is my watch buzzing me? One moment, please, while I pull up your account. Hello? Oh, okay. All right, so what is it with if I pay for it out of pocket? Whew, okay. Let's see. And so what would it be if I wait until January? In case you ever wondered if insurance is a racket, it is. That was the dentist's office calling to let me know that my insurance doesn't cover endodontics for 12 months. I am not eligible for endodontic coverage until January. That means I have to decide if I want to pay out of pocket for a root canal, thousands of dollars, or if I want to try to just deal with it until January. So that'll be a fun conversation. I'm going to go in because basically I have a consult first. So I'm going to go in for that and talk to the dentist because I kind of just want to ask him, can we just pull the tooth? It's a molar in the back of my mouth. Can't we just pull it? Good grief. What time is it? I'm hoping this isn't too out of focus. I turned it off of autofocus so it doesn't make that little chirping sound the whole time that drives people crazy. It's on manual focus and I can't really see from here what you can see. In other news, my Christmas planner and my holiday cookbook is live. Something I've been working on for a long time, something I've been talking to you guys about since last year. I was hoping to have a more fun and cool way to like announce it and share it here, but here we are. I'll put all the information down below if you guys are interested in that, but the holiday planner is like over 70 pages. I printed mine, laminated the cover and like did a spiral binding on it. It's a digital product, a PDF, and I have loved using it to like keep me organized and make sure that I'm getting everything done. As y'all may or may not know, I can't remember which video I said it in, but I'm trying desperately to get as much of my Christmas stuff done as I can by like December 1st, early December, so that I can just enjoy December with my family and not have to worry about presents, shopping and wrapping and all that kind of stuff. So that is my plan. And I was gonna do some Christmas decorating today, but we'll see if that happens. Okay, what else? CR built a new house for the ducks. I will try to get a clip of that and insert it for you. He finished the pond, which I showed you already, and he built them a new house, like an A-frame kind of house. We still have to put shingles on the roof and paint it and all of that kind of stuff. Oh my gosh, Darcy, Bing Bong Ding Dong. That's her new nickname, is I call her Bing Bong. You know, in the movie, what's that movie? Shoot, what's the name of that movie? Why can't I think of the name of the movie? Where it's all of her like emotions in her head or whatever, and there's the crazy little clown thing, and he says, Bing Bong, Bing Bong, Bing Bong, Bing Bong, Bing Bong. That's what Darcy reminds me of, because she is so smart, but so dumb at the same time. I can't really explain that any other way. It's kind of hilarious. Anyway, so her nickname, whenever she does something that's kind of dingy, I call her Darcy Ding Dong or Darcy Bing Bong or just Bing Bong. Anyways, new duck house, that is done. We ended up, so some of our friends moved here from like the Rock Hill area at the same time as, like around the same time as my sister did. And they used to have chickens and stuff at their place, and then like the zoning stuff changed and they couldn't have them. So they were really wanting chickens again. And y'all know our chicken predicament with the Silkies not getting along with the others and all the problems we were having. So we kind of had like 3 groups of chickens living in different places on our property, and it was getting to be a bit much to deal with. So we ended up gifting the rooster and all of the Silkies to our friends, and the babies and everything. They were a few weeks old by the time they took them. So they took the whole crew, all the Silkies except for one. The one Silkie, if y'all remember, she had the baby, the one, and we thought for a while that it was maybe going to be a rooster, so we went ahead and moved it over here with Tina. I call them Tina and the Chanterelles. I have not individually named all of the other Polish chickens, the black and tan Polish chickens. So we have Tina, who's the buff-laced Polish, and then the black and tan ones. So it's Tina and the Chanterelles is what their names are. And then Bobby is the name of the black silkie that the kids moved over there because they thought that Bobby was a rooster. They named him Bobby. It turns out Bobby's not a rooster. Bobby is a hen. Quite the motley crew over there right now is all I'm trying to say. It's quite the motley crew. You have Tina, then you have the black and tan Polish, and then you have Bobby, the singular silkie. And they've all kind of grown up as small babies together, so they all get along decently well. So now that whole coop over there is all chickens. It's Polish, and it's Tina and the Chanterelles and Bobby on one side, the laying hens on the other. We've just been opening the door every day, and the laying hens have been free ranging all over our property, which has its benefits, but also its downfalls, namely sliding around in chicken poop occasionally in the yard when you step in it, which is blech. They're all there. The ducks have now moved over to the other pen. CR built them their little A-frame house, and we're moving along with those things. I've been doing some rearranging of things. We've been just changing some things up around here. After 2 years here, it's been over 2 years now, which is crazy for me to think about because it feels in some ways like we just moved here and in other ways like we've been here for a long time. But it's been 2 years, and there's just some things that I think part of it is that we lived in our other house for so long, and I got very accustomed, like our family grew in that house. So I was able to make changes and do things a certain way little by little. And then the move, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not accustomed to like a move like that. I'm not as amendable to change as I once thought that I was. It's just been hard. There's been certain things that I'm like, I can't figure out a good flow for this. I can't figure out how to organize this or how to store this or how to do these certain things within the house. And the kids are all getting bigger, and so they're physically taking up more space, and then their stuff and all of that. So just kind of trying to figure out how to do all that has been something that has plagued me, if you will. Slightly hyperbolic terms, but you know what I mean. Something that has plagued me for the last 2 years is just kind of trying to figure that stuff out. Anyway, so I do feel like I have made good progress in that arena. And I've also been a lot better at releasing certain things. I think perhaps moving can, I did a really good job when I decluttered our house before of like letting go of stuff and being very cutthroat about it. And I think moving ushered in these emotions of like nostalgia and like concern for letting go of certain things. And so I found myself holding on to things more tightly than I had in the years previous. I found myself being more like, well, no, we might need that. We need to hang on to that. We might need that. And I wasn't that way in our old house. And so I have gotten better at going, okay, you don't need that. And it's also causing you stress. Even if you think you might need it someday, you can go find it at the Goodwill if you really need it again. So I've gotten better at releasing things. We kind of also looked around downstairs and took stock of, okay, what furniture has actually withstood the test of time, has been able to withstand our children. And we couldn't help but notice that the only things that had really ever lasted for us were heirloom pieces, vintage pieces of furniture that were made of real wood, not press wood and that kind of thing. So we kind of just made the decision that, all right, let's get rid of this stuff that's broken and whatever. And we'll just wait. We'll have empty spaces in our home until we can afford, it's in the budget, to replace certain pieces with really good quality pieces that will last. So one of those things was the dining table. So we did get a new dining table. It actually looks a lot like our old dining table in terms of the color. It is huge. Huge. It seats like 16 people. I will show you. Without the leaf, this is the table without the leaf in it, without any leaf extensions, okay? Without any leaf extensions. It already more than seats our family. And then when we add the extensions, we can seat even more. And that's really what I wanted. Was we host so many holidays and we're always having family over, my sister's family, my parents and our friends. We wanted a table that would seat as many people as possible, as we could reasonably fit in that space. So it's a little bit crowded right now because there's a Christmas tree in there and all of that kind of stuff. And the benches we're going to end up changing that stuff out, but the table was very expensive. So we're not going to have chairs just yet, okay? Sometimes you have to buy things in stages, okay? And that's the other thing I've learned. All right, just because I can't afford to buy the table and chairs right now, we're going ahead with the table. And luckily, like I said, it matches benches, which are way too short now. So we can't, anyways, the point is we'll add chairs and all that kind of stuff as we go along little by little, but we're just going to start replacing furniture with the best quality that we can afford, that feels like it's still reasonably priced. I don't want to spend a small fortune on something, but you get the point. That's making me feel more like we're getting settled. I do actually have 2 calls into 2 companies locally that do home additions, and we're trying to get some more opinions now that market stuff has kind of made some changes and everything. We're hoping to get some other opinions on the addition that we want to build. It's part of what has caused my hesitancy in doing certain things and decorating certain things, is because I kept thinking like, well, if we do a renovation, if we do an addition, then this would have to change. But at the end of the day, even if we started it, at the beginning of the year, which is probably not even a realistic time frame, it would still take months to do that. And so it still feels worth it to me to go ahead with some of the things that I've wanted to do but have waited on doing. And so some of those projects will be forthcoming on my other channel, and maybe some like vlog footage of them here. All right, now I have to go talk to Christopher and let him know what the dentist or the endodontist just said. He's probably going to have a negative reaction to that, because I think he wants me to be not in pain, maybe even more than I do. So let me go talk to my husband and tell him what's going on, and then we'll pick up from there. All right, I'm back. I'm still speaking normally, so you can probably guess that I did not have a root canal today. But funny thing, I went in, they did like the further like 3D, they did like x-rays and like 3D imaging and stuff like that. And basically what the endodontist told me is that that with just a regular x-ray like they did at the dentist office, they can't see like the full extent of the problem. With the 3D imaging, they were able to see that, and they could see that the whole tooth is basically like, it's done. It's, he said by the time he excavated everything, what was left wouldn't even probably be enough to do a crown on. So basically, the tooth has to be pulled. So a couple of, well, I don't know if it's y'all, because I don't know if people who are here are necessarily always the same people on Instagram, but a couple people on Instagram had told me, just pull the tooth, don't get a root canal. And that's kind of what I wanted, but I also knew that like, they don't always like to do that, So anyways, that's what's going to happen though, but they can't get me in to do that until December 7th. So it's like, because it's oral surgery and it's, you have to not eat before and blah, blah, blah. And I guess they like put you to sleep to surgically extract the tooth. It's my molar, it's my number 2 tooth, in case any of you know teeth by the numbers, paint by numbers. It's the number 2 tooth. The number 1 tooth is already gone because it was a wisdom tooth. And I had those all pulled. I had 4 wisdom teeth taken out when I was 19. So now I'm gonna have 2 teeth not there on my upper molars. So hopefully it's not gonna shift these. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be fine though. I just don't want to be in pain anymore. So he gave me like a schedule, a regimen, if you will, to take of ibuprofen and Tylenol for the pain between now and then. He said to call him if it gets excruciating, but thus far I've been able to obviously like at least manage it. But I was talking to my mom because I've also had really bad heartburn out of nowhere the last 2 days. The last time I had heartburn this bad was when I was pregnant with the twins. I am not pregnant. So and she was like, you probably, with like all the stress of all these things, obviously there's stuff going on in my life that's not online, but there's just been a lot of things going on. And so she's like, it's probably like an ulcer that's, kind of flaring up. So I've had to start taking like Nexium every day and Tums, because it's been like, it woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and it was just like I was breathing fire. So my my health is failing. Not really, but I definitely feel like I just need to like chill, puffy cheeks, chill, Anyways, okay. CR is out. It's supposed to get down into the 20s tonight. This is how we like to do it here in South Kakalaki, is that we like to do like not cold, not fall, bam, winter. It's basically what happened. It's like 80 degrees and 27. So CR's out doing straw and just bedding down everybody outside, making sure all the animals have everything they need to stay warm and cozy tonight in the very frigid temperatures. I'm sure you can hear the children playing in the kitchen. I think the girls might be, they're helping CR or they might be riding horses. At some point too, I need to update you guys on horses, because we're down a few horses. Nobody died or anything, but horses have gone to training and then thus have been sold for like doing new disciplines and stuff for other people. So it needed to happen, but that's been like emotional to deal with for everybody too. So, you know, life stuff, right? Right.